So, what are the rulings concerning the purity of pets?
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
So, generally, um, pets, it depends on what animal you're talking about. Um, Cats are permissible to keep, and a domestic cat, anything, if it licks you, its saliva is pure. What you feed it, if you feed it something with unslaughtered meat in it, most cat food nowadays is permissible to purchase and to feed because there's a benefit. But a lot of the times it has unslaughtered meat in it. So if the cat's eaten that, you can just, if the cat eats the meat and then let's say it licks your hand immediately or drinks some water, it would technically be impure. But if it eats that meat or the unslaughtered meat, and then just give it 5 minutes or whatever, even less than that, when it just licks its, it moves its tongue in its mouth, swallows, that automatically purifies it. So you can assume it's pure after that. However, if a cat does lick your hand, it's you should wash your hands before eating. That's the adab the ulama have mentioned. The fur of the cat or the hairs are pure. Um, so you just clean them as you clean any other hair. So the hair is pure. So that's the basic general ruling for cats. Other animals, it's permissible to keep birds. You obviously the I believe, yeah, pigeons, for example. I just People have pigeons outside. I've seen people here. They'll have a shed outside or a hut, and they'll keep pigeons. Their droppings are pure. And generally, there's no issue with keeping an animal outside. Dogs. Okay, so this is a common question. So, is it permissible to keep dogs as pets? And it depends. As a pet, no, right? If you just like to have that, Yorkshire Terrier running around, storming around in your house, it's not permissible. There are situations where having a dog would be permissible. One, if it was a security issue as a guard dog. If you needed to keep it inside the house for protection, it's a rough area, you need a dog in the house, fair enough. I'll talk about the purity issues there. But generally, like if you have to have a dog in, let's say you own a garage, you're a mechanic, and you need a dog there for protection. If someone tries to break in, take your tools, in that situation, it's permissible to have a guard dog. A sheepdog is permissible if you got sheep, and uh, you need it for the shepherding. And dogs for people who have visual impairments, right? So dogs that are specifically trained to help guide blind people, they're also permissible because there's a clear need in those situations. But a dog just as a pet is not permissible. However, there are issues now with keeping a dog. Firstly, its saliva. In the Hanafi school, the dominant position is that its saliva is impure. So if a dog was to lick you, then the moisture on your hand or on your clothes or whatever, that is not going to be impure. You have to wash that. Just sticking it under a tap is sufficient. With clothes, you'd have to, I suppose, you could just put it under the tap and wring it, because and if you just do that 3 times, even if it's a small area, that would suffice. It's an invisible impurity. So that's the saliva. Dog hairs in our school are also pure, but it's saliva and also the moisture that dogs have on the tip of their noses. So any liquid that's produced by the flesh of the dog would be impure. So the saliva and the moisture, the hair is pure. Other pets, what is it? Gerbils, hamsters, even budgies or whatever. You're gonna keep them in a cage. just remove the impurity, or put some newspaper in there, just remove them like that. It is permissible to have birds and these sorts of things, but that's generally the ruling. And they're the most common pets that I can think of at the moment. Yeah. So once again, type your questions in the chat, and I'll get around to them, inshallah ta'ala. The more the merrier.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله